away, and before he could say Jack, the police had him surrounded with guns pointing at him. John was speechless and motionless. The officers walked up to him and handcuffed him. Lotino heard the police siren and escaped from the other side of the fence. John was taken to the police station, interrogated by the officers, and was later charged to court. John was given a free call to notify his family. Then he called his father and Kathy, briefly telling them where he was and that he would be sentenced on the next day. The owner of the mansion claimed they stole $1 million worth of jewelry from the mansion. Unfortunately, on the day of his hearing, Katie was rushed to the hospital with complications of pregnancy and could not come to witness his trial. His father was on ground, and the sight of him got John crying uncontrollably, as he felt he has failed the family that invested so much in him, so much on him. And it happened that John was sentenced to 12 years imprisonment. John was taken to the maximum security. On the visiting day, his father, Mr. Maxwell, visited him without his siblings. Mr. Maxwell looked bothered. John asked him if everything was okay, with fear if anything happened to Kathy. Then he told John Kathy's condition that is now getting better than said. With that said, Mr. Maxwell was ready to open a secret that he has been keeping for long. He said, "Son, I love you so much from the first day I saw you. But there is something I want to tell you. Your mother has given birth to you when I met you. Then you were just 1 year and 6 months." John couldn't believe he's hearing this for the first time. He's sorrowful and touched. Furthermore, the officer came and told John's father, Mr. Maxwell, the time is up. So he left John due to this reason. John refused to eat and was going through chronic depression. The prison warden was alerted by another inmate that John is moody and need medical attention. While the officer was logging the information in the system for John to be administered under depression, evidently, the prison could keep check on him to avoid suicidal action, and further appointment was booked for him the next day to be seen by a medical professional. That evening, John was stressed out. He could not cope any longer. He was having switch thoughts, but the night was short. When he woke up, the officer opened his door and asked him to get down to the basement at the medical center. He went and was accessed by a doctor who approved he is therefore battling depression. He was given antidepressant pills for a weekly course. By the time he was dismissed, it was lunchtime, so he decided to call Kathy. The phone rang like 4 times with no one answering. He decided to call again, and luckily she picked and was excited to hear John's voice. While they were talking, other inmates were waiting for the phone. However, John was forced to be brief. But he was about to hang up the phone. He heard a male voice on the background of Kathy's environment with just a few words. "I'm waiting, sweetheart." Before he could ask Kathy who was that, she already hung up the phone on him. Oh. Moreover, all this was just happening only 4 months of John's imprisonment, and the male voice on the background troubled John all night. He was wondering if Kathy had settled with someone else. Moreover, Kathy's baby was due. She gave birth to a baby boy. On the other hand, John received an envelope in the prison. He was curious to know why it got a bit weighty. He quickly opened it and saw baby pictures with your son written on it and accompanied with a short letter from Kathy saying while he was away that she met this other guy who has been a helper to her since she lost her job and pay her rents and even pay the bill of her childbirth in the hospital. John became upset. However, it was time for dinner where he went to the kitchen area to get his dinner. He was in a queue of all of a sudden a lad walked past him and stood in front of him. He told the guy to step back and stand where he's supposed to be. He asked him what will happen. John, alright, this is getting interesting, but I would advise you to get a book and read it. So we are going to stop here for now, and now next time we come, next time I'm going to go into chapter 2 and I'm going to read it. That is more interesting, so you don't want to miss that. Thank you.